All right. You guys have crazies? We got an interesting audience here. We got an interesting crew here today. It's our second Fireside chat, but we're gonna start talking about Game of Thrones, and the regulars are here. Penelope is here, and Frank is here. And we got a special guest. Game of Thrones expert, Perry Penabianco. Actually, Perry, have you ever watched an episode of Game of Thrones?
Yes. No, I have not.
So we're in for a great Game of Thrones conversation. Also sitting in, but also while my mother is here. Hi, Mom. And my daughter is here. They also don't watch Game of Thrones. Actually, I'm a bad father. She's 16. The stuff I was watching at 16, oh well. You know what's funny? So we're on season 2 now, and I've been watching it with her. And I forgot how those early seasons, dude, they will make the dirtiest of dirty men uncomfortable. Yes. It's so much overboard TNA.
It's funny to be in the other room while watching the show, because when we watched it together, it was a totally different story. You're like, oh, what's going on here? What's going on there? When you watch it with Skylar, when you watch it with Skylar, it's, oh boy.
I pick up my phone and start looking in my phone.
Go get Daddy a soda. Go get Daddy a water.
Yeah. But I know at 16, I was what the crap I was watching and reading and everything. So listen, it's a show. If you can watch blood, gore, killing, you know what? Some stupid sex between brother and sister.
Murder people for it. All right. Yeah, let's
and possibly aunt and uncle, but we'll get aunt and cousin. We'll get to that.
Yeah, so we'll get to it. So we want to talk about. I guess we'll start talking about this season of Game of Thrones,
and specifically this last week.
So we were trying to get some people in here with us talking, who were defenders, staunch defenders of. They're not doing anything wrong. There are no wrongs. But we couldn't find anyone.
Right. Yeah, we had no shows, actually.
Yeah, we did invite a guest who could not make it, unfortunately.
I had an interesting conversation with our friend Chris.
Yes, he showed up
earlier,
in my store.
and you probably had the same conversation.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I can so we started talking about the problems. I mean, there's numerous problems.
Which we're going to go over.
Even in the last episode. We can start with the problems. But he said, every time I bring up a problem, he's like, well, you know what, I can let that go. But when you get to the point of 10 or 12 things saying, I can let that go, I can let that go.
I think the real problem here is that the show was so amazing. And when I say amazing, it's like a 20 out of 10. It was so amazing for so many seasons. For it to now drop down to the level of just being a 10 out of 10.
No, it's not. It wasn't even that. It was a mess.
It's still good TV.
It's a hot mess.
You cannot produce a show like that for 7 seasons consistently, including last season, which was amazing. Right, Battle of the Bastards, everything was amazing. But you have to hold it. This is what we said to Chris at the store. You have to hold it to the standard,
or keep going up like Breaking Bad did.
Right, exactly.
Breaking Bad got tighter and better writing as it went along.
Well, they had a cohesive story, season 1 through 5.
The problem is, and we probably all agree, is the good stuff was based specifically on Martin's writing.
And then
and now it's broad swaths they're basing it on, not specific things that have happened.
Right.
So it's left up to TV guy writers who use TV guy devices.
It's the guys who wrote Roots.
Yeah, it's TV. It's TV writing now. Which again, it's not
disappointing.
It's not terrible, but it's not what it was.
Right. 1 second cut. Perry, what do you think about that?
I got nothing.
Well, okay. So Perry's got nothing.
All right, let's start with this most specific.
Where do you have the camera pointed?
I was just on him. Frank was about to start talking, so
I
just need to know where it is.
It's on both. It's on both of you right now.
I can't see where.
How about if we do this? I would. I'd really like to go back to the core. This season in general. Look, the loot train was amazing. It felt like
close your ears. I don't want you to hear.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Well, no. It felt it felt like the Thrones that we were used to. The quality. There were some problems with that episode, but in general, there was enough that was amazing.
Yeah,
to let it go.
And even the episode before it, where the Lannisters attack and they
felt good.
It felt good because it felt intelligent. You didn't really see it coming.
You didn't. It was a twist.
Right.
It was that red wedding.
Right.
sideways.
Right, where the let's refresh. Let's be clear. Where the Unsullied went and attacked Lannisport, and the Lannisters went and attacked the Tyrells, Highgarden. We didn't see that coming, and it was smart, and it was well written. And the end of what's her name? Olenna. It felt like a scene. It wouldn't
surprise me if Martin didn't write that dialogue.
Exactly.
However, let's go back 2 episodes before that. The Pirate King is a joke.
Terrible.
Euron Greyjoy is
terrible.
As Justin always says, he's the 40-year-old guy in eyeliner standing outside Hot Topic trying to hit on the teenage girl.
Terrible.
Awful storyline. Makes no sense.
And in the books, he's not like that.
No, it makes no sense.
And he has I don't want to spoil it.
They TV'd him up.
The books. They did. He has a cool item in the books he doesn't have in the show.
He's Ramsay's.
He's a
really bad replacement.
He is, and he's out of nowhere. Right. You know, Ramsay was introduced. Not even Bruce talks about him. Right. He's like, "Oh, my bastard," you know what I mean?
Right.
And they just threw this guy in our laps.
They needed a what do you call replacement?
Did you just call him Bruce?
No,
Bruce Bolton.
Oh, they called him Bruce.
No, Bruce Bolton. He's a singer. He used to sing for the for Supertramp back in the day, right? Bruce Bolton. Yeah. Look at my mother. My mother is
watching us. Is this Glideception?
My mother just turned us on to watch us. That's the one watcher.
The one thing that we got to stay here though is they knew Joffrey was going to go, and they needed to
spoilers.
They needed to preempt. How amazing was it that Ramsay came in slow and they brought things on with pacing? Okay,
that's another thing.
Let's switch to this season. If there's anything that's the most off, it's the pacing and the fact that now you can take a dragon and fly to the wall in 15 minutes.
To play
and 2 things. Hold on.
Go.
Those 2 things are a problem. Pacing is a huge problem because they got us used to this. And I don't care about the slow pacing. There was a lot of things going on in the world, so they had to go to it all. And the others, not as many things. Storylines would converge. But another thing is, there was always repercussions to actions in this show.
Yes.
And it was brilliantly written because of that. You couldn't get away with doing something stupid in the early seasons.
Absolutely.
You couldn't. There were
paid the price.
Now there's guys. Oberon paid the price. It was the antithesis of regular TV writing.
They paid the price for trusting.
Right. And for going against him with marrying someone else. It went against all the TV tropes.
Yeah.
Now they're going with all the TV tropes. And there are no repercussions for 40 miles an hour riding a horse towards a dragon where a guy dives in.
I just had a question. Do they have internet now? Because I want to know how fast the dove goes.
A raven.
The raven. Well, whatever dove, raven, whatever the flying bird is. Is there some kind of internet?
So there's
on
it's funny you mentioned that. Justin sent me a link earlier, which I'm going to bring up.
One question, Perry. What do you think about the internet in Westeros? Fake news.
I agree. The timing is weird. And part of it is because all the storylines are converging. There's less
be
people
better
to
writers.
go to.
Be creative.
Yeah, and that's why the show was geared to for everything to converge, which is fine. But you know what? I said this to Chris. The chains annoys me, and he's like, "Listen, I can deal with it." They got miles of chains. Maybe they walked back
the 14 million dead,
right?
And they
Mom.
What?
Yeah. This is. You got nothing, Mom. Huh?
So she's sitting there. So maybe they walked back to Hardhome and got chains from the ships that hung. I don't care.
That
maybe
is the
something.
least of
Wait,
worry.
no, but wait. Where was I going with that? Chains.
Well, the least of your worries.
I forget where I was going.
Well, let's go this way. Let's analyze that episode, Justin. Let's take a look at that episode from start to beginning. Where's your first problem? Go over it in your mind a little bit. They're walking around out there.
I guess my first problem, and I wouldn't have this problem if there weren't so many other problems. I would have let it go, but when it gets to a certain amount, I can't let everything go. My first problem is they killed a White Walker, and all of his followers fell. Right? Except one. Not 3, not 7.
Not 9.
1.
Now, are you sure?
TV.
Are you sure there wasn't another one that they were
None.
that they
No.
Not. And
maybe off screen. They didn't show it.
Even if they did, how lame ass is that?
Lame.
Okay. Sure.
I like the idea that if you kill the White Walker, his followers fall.
It shows some weakness.
Have 7 or 8 there, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they all happen to be following.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Then the chains thing. I want to get back to that real quick. Imagine if it was written this way. And how come I'm thinking better things? Because I said it to Chris when we were talking about it. He was like, wow, that's brilliant. I don't know if he used the word brilliant, but I like using that word for myself.
Of course.
What if the chains were laying there and there was no broken ice. The White Walkers didn't care about going over the broken ice. Matter of fact, Tormund used a hammer, knocked a hole in the ice, and the White Walkers came back out of it. And no, that's the Tormund, the Hound. But they came out of the water again to get Tormund. So if they can come out of the water, why did they even stop around the ring when there was broken?
Made no sense.
So what if
they were waiting for a dragon?
What if they wrote it so the Night King knew? I know a dragon's coming. We're gonna stand around you in a circle. We got chains ready. We know this dragon is coming.
Right.
Imagine if it was written like that.
There's all kinds of ways.
Is.
I mean, if you want to go with that, why the hell were the 7 of them freezing on the rock when a guy had a flaming sword? I mean, can somebody give me that one? And let me ask you this. Heat melts ice, right? So
It's magical, though.
Well, a very simple walk around with my hot sword would have gave us a nice moat.
Oh, they could have used the rock, the hammer.
Yes.
I'd have been like, give me that hammer and making holes around and around and around. Believe me.
And the attack.
But the water didn't even. It turns out
The
that
water
means
means
nothing.
So my first,
Because they had deep sea divers, obviously, to pull up submergible objects.
Yes.
Let's go around and talk. Who's first? Everybody's first problem with that episode.
All right, what's your first problem
My
with the
first
episode?
problem with that episode was the fact that we've got the A-Team. You know, we've got all of our favorite guys. We got Gendry, we got Jon, we got Tormund, we got the Hound, we got Ensign Expendable #1, we got Jim,
Yeah.
the guy
Red
in the fur cloak, we got Bill, who we've never met before.
Oh, we've seen Bill before.
You know what I mean?
Red Skin Star Trek.
And
Yeah.
conveniently, those, I mean, aside from Thoros of Nair, which, rest in peace, but we have these people we don't care about who are dying.
Yep.
Why? We lost one cool dude that we cared about in that episode, and everybody else was just Jim, the red shirt, Bill, and Bob.
Right. They were the Expendables. They were the red shirts.
And we usually didn't get that. in
No.
this. I mean, listen,
No.
a ton of. They always had people dying, but not instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just...
All right, we got some comments here I'd like to read.
Oh, we have comments. Are they
Daniel
from your mom?
Stransky. No, my mom's watching but not commenting. Daniel Stransky said, "Is it followers who fall or those who were turned by that White Walker who fall?" I believe it was
That's what
term.
he meant by
I
followers.
believe
the followers, the ones who were turned by the White Walker specifically fall because that White Walker turned them.
It's like
Right?
vampires. In some mythos, if you were turned by this vampire and that vampire is killed, you are then fine.
Right.
Right.
Rachel Higgins read a fan theory about how the Night King is actually Bran. Penelope read the same theory. In which case, he probably did know a dragon was coming. Which, okay, if that turns out to be it,
mind-blowing.
cool theory. Would have been better if they showed it, him actually being ready. I mean, he was ready with a spear, but imagine if the chains were laid out.
Yeah, no,
imagine if they didn't. They stopped because of the water, which was okay. Maybe they're really afraid of water until later on in the same episode where they're jumping out of the same water.
They're fine with the
So
water.
maybe these things that we're finding fault with are actually plot points that are important. Maybe, I mean, he had those spears. Maybe the
I hope
chains
so.
were there.
Okay, if we give them that credit, here, okay. How bullshitty was it now that it's the dragon bus? Okay, the distance,
The
right?
dragon bus?
The dragon bus. Like, what, 9 guys jumped on the dragon? And Jon Snow's little, I'm going to protect you, and died again.
You want me to
was
snuggle up closer to
so
Frank?
bad. Don't you think Jon Snow not being on the dragon would have been so much, his falling in the water? Where did Uncle Bobo come from?
Okay,
That is
plural.
called Ghost. It's called Deus Ex Machina. How do you spell that?
What's the plural form of that? Rob Lynch actually.
Yeah, I
talked
know.
About that. There were too many ghosts in the machine
Yes.
in this episode.
It's just a thing written to save a guy.
Right, and it felt
It's
shitty.
bullshit.
It felt
It's-
shitty.
Perry?
E equals MC squared to the cube root of an isosceles triangle, and I got nothing.
He's never gonna watch the
I
show.
will say.
Are you spoiled now?
Not really.
What do you know?
Not much.
I just know get the camera.
So do we agree? The Ghost in the Machine, awful.
Awful.
The travel distance. The guy ran to the gate,
We didn't even get to that.
passed out. Come on, go with
So
that.
there is a map. I saw it online earlier this week. It's a map of how far Jon Snow has traveled in this season versus how far the White Walkers have traveled in this season. The White Walkers have, on the map, let's say the map is this big, the White Walkers have traveled this far. Meanwhile, Jon has gone from here to here, over here,
Yeah.
up here, down around here, then up here.
It's
then over
ridiculous.
here. Then he had lunch out here.
The
and then
White
down
Walkers
here.
have always been slow movers. I don't care about that. It's how fast everyone else is
It's
moving.
how-
And that
Yeah.
is what
And-
people are saying.
Right.
They're only as fast as the slowest person, and the slowest person has no legs and is crawling on his hands
right,
and knees.
right.
So.
And now the other thing, I read a conspiracy theory, And if you look in the real tiny writings at the end of the show, it says written by George Lucas.
Oh.
So he was a guest writer on that episode.
So John Roberts said, set the dead on fire to melt it. They could use the sword and set all the fucking dead on fire. Bill Spencer said, we're a trip. John said, maybe that was turned by another white. Maybe what was?
The one.
Oh, the one was.
Well,
Well, that's the point. Why? He was a straggler. He was like, I'm gonna go hang out with dead John instead of my people.
I don't like Uncle Buck. Who
I'm gonna go hang with them. One guy.
It's Uncle Bobo and Uncle Bob.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember their.
Bill Spencer.
Benjamin.
Bill Spencer, you guys were talking how fast things are going. I think they are trying to keep big action going for each episode because people are talking about the battle scenes a lot online. So it's drawing more people in. Bill Spencer, fuck battle scenes. It's not why I watch this show.
That's right.
There have been some great battle scenes.
When appropriate.
Usually one, maybe two per season, but everything leads up to it. This isn't an action show.
No.
This is a thinking man's Lord of the Rings that had the potential to be the next great fantasy
ever.
Ever.
And it is.
No.
No, the books still may be. We don't know. We're talking specifically about.
I'm not giving up on this. I'm not giving up on this show.
Dude, this season.
The last 2 or 3 episodes have been not up to par, but I'm not.
I have had characters that
Good. I like this.
love.
Can we do this?
Die
Me
every
too.
season, and I've always come back.
Same.
This bad writing is worse than one of my favorite characters dying, right?
Yeah, right there.
I would rather see Oberon die again than have more of this crappy writing.
Let me ask you something. Did any of us dispel belief? Because as long as it's written well, when Jon Snow came back to life, acceptable, right?
I already knew that. I would have had to show you guys can start raving about
You
it.
know what? It was acceptable, but it was a bummer because it kind of.
I liked it.
Listen,
we saw the
you know what it
power of the Lord of
did?
Light.
But it took away. It took away the power of people dying.
But
But
they're
not
real
everybody.
clear. It's not like.
And that's one of the reasons that the show writers decided not to bring Lady Stoneheart into it.
Right.
Anybody who doesn't read the books, Catelyn Stark actually comes back in the books.
Yeah, you can't do the.
Hey, Andrew. Everybody say hey, Andrew.
Hi,
Hey, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
Or Andrew.
No. So Kevin said he wants more story from other characters, which
Yes.
is cool. I'd love that. Bill, I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm just passionate.
He meant to yell.
Hey, Harry's watching.
Hey, hi, Harry.
Hooray.
Wait, are you caught up, Harry? Because don't watch it. if
Oh
you're
my
not
God!
caught
Oh,
up.
he has to be. Of course, he's caught up.
Are you, Harry, turn this off if you're not caught up.
We are to blame for his.
I can't spoil.
Unfortunately, this is Mark Caruso. Unfortunately, this season does feel a bit rushed from one location to another, all due to the seven episode limitation. Here's the thing about the 7 episode limitation: they blew the first 2 episodes
On nothing.
on nothing.
On Pirate Boy.
Nothing.
On Pirate Boy to have a cool ship. First of all, listen, it's garbage. Guys, you got to be honest with yourself. This season, we went from maybe the greatest
Are we
show
all trying to squeeze in it?
yes, maybe the best show of all time to literally, honestly, how can you have those seasons and
Mediocre.
at best? At best, it's
So-
a joke.
So can I
a joke.
interject with some positivity? Put the camera on me a little more.
Put the camera on.
I want
It's on me.
I want to interject a little bit of positivity here. I'm not 100% against the entire season, for the simple fact, I am trash, and I ship John and Dany, and they're finally coming together in some way. Now, Frank and I actually had a little bit of a discussion about this yesterday. You said that you don't think they're going to end up together because her comment about that's what my brother used
My
to call me.
brother, yes.
Well, I actually thought about that a little harder after we talked about it. She was, from the time she was a baby, really expected to marry her brother. Because
Right.
that's what Targaryens did.
That's right. So she may
So
follow
that
the
might
tradition.
actually be
But
more
it's-
of a plot for
I'll
her.
tell you what, though, for all you people who ship that, if they stick to TV tropes, it ain't never going to happen.
How cliched has this season felt?
Very.
Awful.
Yep. There's been more cliched moments than great moments,
Yes.
where every other season is more great moments than cliched moments.
And listen, I don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
We're going to switch a little bit off of the wastelands of the ice. The whole thing between the sisters going on right now is just the whole Littlefinger. The thing I loved about Littlefinger for 7 seasons, they're feeding it to us like we're babies
Yes.
right now.
So,
Him in the
I think-
hallway.
I have a thing about
I
this.
think there's a reason that they're
Yes.
doing that. I think that the sisters are playing him.
I'm willing to
Well,
let this.
then I give
gotta
you
get it, I gotta
If
get it,
that's the
I gotta
case,
get it.
then I got 4.
So I'm willing to let this story arc play out because I want to see where it goes.
Okay, if it plays out as predictable,
I'm super upset.
Yes, because it's
If Arya really is that susceptible to these
She
boys,
deserves to
because
die.
She's been through so much. She should
Yeah.
be way smart. She's
Both
freaking
of
Batman
them.
now.
she's Batman.
Both of
Yes.
them are
right.
too good
Do you
for
think
this.
she's Batman?
Oh, glad, I'm glad you asked because I had 2 hamburgers for dinner. And I think I got heartburn. Back to you.
I want to see. I want to see where this. It's not heartburn. It's agita.
I got
Yeah.
you got that right.
Too much gravy.
I hate if this turns out to be one of those storylines where at the end we're like, oh my god. I hope so.
Right.
So this is what my prevailing theory is.
The
for
Brianna
this.
Tar leaving is not part of a good strategy.
No, and I don't think.
What's
that
what's unfortunate is they don't know what to do with her because in the books I don't think she's around anymore.
I think the
She should have been on the
sisters.
ice.
I think the sisters are playing him. There's no way.
don't.
Bran sees the future. There is no way that he knew that. He knows. He said to Littlefinger that chaos is a ladder. He knows that Littlefinger.
Bran is freaking annoying.
I know Bran's annoying. That's besides the point. He would
He's got a
never.
wheelchair now.
He would never have given Arya.
Can't get in our store.
He wouldn't. I don't think he would have given the arrow. I don't think he would have given Arya the dagger unless she's going to use it against Sansa. Like I don't.
I don't know.
She's the future.
I'm willing to let this storyline play out.
I think she's going to kill Littlefinger with a dagger, and I think Bran gave it to her for that purpose.
All right.
As part of the
John
plan.
Roberts, my brother. Absolutely, big battles are great, but when it's nothing but battles, there's no story.
Right.
And this is all about story.
And this is what-
I feel like it's Lord of the Rings for grown-ups. And Lord of the Rings was for grown-ups.
If you watch The Sopranos, it was great to the last 10 minutes.
Brienne and plus Tormund equals giant babies. Johnny Daniels, my brother. Listen, I used to say the same thing when I was young. I used to be like, I need to find a giant woman so I can have giant babies and rule the
No,
world.
you didn't.
No, well, it didn't pan out, but
You found a
I don't have
What
giant
do you say
babies. Yeah, my baby's still gonna rule the world. So I love Tormund. I love the Hound still.
He was off, though. He was.
I was
his-
just wandering.
The Hound's character is changing, and I'm okay with that.
But
It's
we're not.
called
It's
character
not
development.
Yeah,
It's
his
not-
character has developed.
developing it. Look, all of a sudden, Sansa's become bad. You're seeing all these, but nothing's. It's too rushed. Nothing's
My
progressing.
main issue with this season is that it's too rushed and the travel
The
is weird.
geography's way off. So I guess we've really covered it. Go
Now,
ahead.
one thing about geography, and again, I'm playing.
Johnny said the last
episode.
episode is 80 minutes, so that should be cool.
Again, I'm playing.
If it's good,
Yeah, I'm playing.
It might be 80 minutes of eye rolls.
yeah. Where I'm watching Lord of the Rings on the other TV.
I looked at a map, and from when they traveled, they left Eastwatch and went out looking for a white. Or can we not even talk about?
Oh, yeah,
how
that's-
stupid that plan is.
Go ahead, go with it. The whole, it is. Talk about it. The whole concept
The entire concept
of them
is that-
all going to the north.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Them going, the A-team going to find a White Walker, a White, so they can bring it back to Cersei. Who gives a shit about Cersei?
I know.
Who
It's
gives a shit about
ridiculous.
her
It's
opinion?
ridiculous.
It's fucking stupid.
It is fucking
But
stupid.
let me get back to my little thing here. When they left Eastwatch and went out to find the White, they were traveling in a weird path because they were looking for a White. They were looking for stuff. They weren't traveling in a straight line to a destination. So Gendry running back within 6, 7, 8 hours, however long it took him to get back, that's actually kind of feasible.
Okay.
What's not feasible, send a Raven. The Raven goes. Instant text messaging. A Raven messenger direct to Daenerys.
The Raven gets there, they sew her up a North flight suit for the
It
North.
was the Narnia.
Dude, she had the freaking white
Narnia
suit. She didn't have that sitting in the thing.
As a woman with a wardrobe, she had that dress already.
Just in case I go to the North, I have to have this dress.
Let me throw a what if.
Garbage.
Can I throw
It's
a what
not.
if? And I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
Just somebody who thinks. Tell me this doesn't work better without the runner. Okay. They shift over to her, right? She knows they're on this quest. She says to Tyrion, "There's something in me that tells me I need to go help Jon."
Yeah, like Leia. My
Yes.
brother's in trouble.
Yes.
She's on her way as the attack occurs.
Yes.
Feasible?
Feasible.
It's more
Better
feasible
written.
than a freaking marathon runner running and then a Raven. getting
I
there
know
in a
he
day.
was the Greek runner prototype.
And maybe he was, which I'm fine with.
Mark
but-
Caruso wants to know what we think about Bran's personality or lack thereof.
Bran is as interesting as Bran Flakes. That's my
You're giving him a lot of power with no. He needs some pizzazz.
It better play out.
I heard there's a rumor he's Professor X in the future.
There's gotta be an end. There's got to be an end game. We've been watching him just meander through the frickin' north, and people dying around him some were cool, and just all kinds of stuff happening around him, but nothing has played out.
Yoda.
Why is he the third-eyed raven, the three-eyed raven? Why?
Perry, why is he either Yoda?
I can stand up Darth Vader with Luke Spock.
What? Spoilers.
Yeah, it just came out, right?
I'm trying to stop by the next couple of days. Any new Hot Wheels in the shop?
Tell them they're in Westeros. You can go to Westeros.
We're gonna get Gendry to bring them to you. They'll be there in an hour.
The Raven's on the way with a red line.
Johnny Daniels, Arya and Sansa are playing against Littlefinger. I agree. I at least hope so.
They have to be. They have
I at least hope so.
If not,
then I'm done. But I said that after Oberon died. I'm done. I said that. So maybe I'm not done. They're still dragons.
John Roberts said Sansa's the same girl she always was. She just had some bad shit happen to her. And Arya, on the other hand, has grown. But I got to tell you, Johnny, if Arya has grown, then she shouldn't be so mad at Sansa. She shouldn't be buying this Littlefinger bullshit. But maybe she's not. That's what I'm holding out for. Maybe she's playing a game, which I would dig. Maybe she's out Littlefingering. I had a great concept.
Littlefingering?
Maybe she's out Littlefingering Littlefinger. Imagine, you know that scene?
Say that 3 times.
Out Littlefingering Littlefinger. Out Littlefingering Littlefinger. Out Littlefingering Littlefinger. So, imagine in that scene. You know the scene where
we are ridiculous.
We're retarded.
You know watching? There's 11 people watching.
Do you know the scene when Sansa starts talking to Littlefinger at the end of the last episode?
Yes.
And he's like, maybe you should do,
it seems really.
Wait, what if that was Arya as Littlefinger?
You never know.
Right. So that kind of thing.
We don't know. We don't know where that's going.
So why did she send Brienne away?
The premise is because Brienne would protect Arya if Sansa wants something.
So the premise is they sent her away so that Brienne can't protect her.
So that if Sansa decides to out Arya, get rid of her, Brienne's not there. It's fucking ridiculous.
Real quick question. Going to change gears a little bit. Is or is not Cersei pregnant?
She's not.
I don't care if
it's
she is
not
or
the
not.
question. Ding, 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 ding.
No, she's playing Jaime.
Okay, I agree.
Bye, Mommy.
Is she pregnant?
I love you, Mama.
Hold on. Is she?
Call me when you get up. My mom's leaving.
Everybody say bye.
Bye, Mom.
Mom, is Cersei pregnant or is she a lion hoe?
She's a lion hoe.
Lion.
Is she pregnant? I got no.
Fake news.
Hold on, let me catch up on some things here. Brian Imenheiser, Littlefinger be the next to die season finale. Awesome. That would be great. Because let's not forget.
Season started that way.
Let's not forget. Littlefinger is the one
who started
everything. The Hound got crushed by Gendry's hammer at some point. I hope not, Johnny Daniels.
I didn't see that.
No, he gets
fine at the end.
Johnny's calling this. The Hound gets crushed by Gendry's hammer at some point.
God, I hope
Why do you say that?
Oh.
F you, dude. You're not my brother anymore. Tormund cannot die until the Brienne arc has played through. John Roberts, I think Brienne's going to die maybe next episode. Because I don't think they know what to do with her anymore. I think she's stranded in a story arc.
I had her marrying the big dude.
I don't think we're getting to any marriages, man. I think that Brienne, they don't know what to do with her anymore.
And they got to oust her.
So at one point, a character...
then they should have put her in the snow and let her go.
Have you seen the meme? I don't remember what character it is. Maybe it's Ramsay. The meme. You haven't been paying attention. There are no happy endings. There's no happy endings. Nobody's getting married. Nobody's having babies. Nobody's.
Yeah, it's not going to be like the end of Harry Potter where like their kids are meeting up at the train station.
No, wait a minute. That's great. But you guys are going off the Martin concept, not the TV writers. But there's a happy ending.
No.
The dragon love.
Listen. No, I think we're going to get. George Martin told them. George Martin.
The directors and stuff know the ending.
The broad strokes.
Yeah, but not like every single little person.
Right. So they're writing the bullshit minutia that's annoying us, but the basic plot is going to be the George Martin stuff. So let me tell you,
Brienne's not in the books anymore, I don't think. So she's gone.
I need to Google that because I don't know if you're right. She's with Lady Stoneheart in the books. There's no Lady Stoneheart in the show.
I believe in the books Lady Stoneheart kills Brienne. So anyway.
I need to... I thought
Sheila Davis said next season is 80 minutes, all 8 episodes. Wow, so we got some monsters next season. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
James O'Connell. Series could go either way. Great till the end or rush due to budget constraints. They got a massive budget now.
No way.
As a matter of fact, they have so much budget. They have so much budget. They're like, look what I could do.
Yep.
Look what I could.
How many Emmys have they won? They've won some. They have more money than God.
There's an excerpt in the books that talks about how the two of the Targaryen kids used to race dragons back and forth between Dragonstone and King's Landing every day. So dragons can half-ass. Yeah. Well, Dany's face wasn't covered in fucking frostbite.
No, I agree with that. King's Landing is right across the water.
Yeah, they weren't in King's Landing, no.
No, they were at the Eastwatch. So that.
He's not Bran anymore. He's the three-eyed raven. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the theory of Bran being the Night King? It's very interesting.
So here's my...
That's scary interesting. Cool.
It's weird and interesting, but I think what's more plausible, as far as Bran theories go, is that Bran made the Mad King mad. Because we've noticed in previous episodes, when he goes back in time with his visions, he shouted to his dad, and Ned heard him.
Oh,
so I think the Mad King going mad, burn them all, burn them all. He's hearing an echo of something. Bran's involved. There's something to that.
I'm interested. I hope the Bran thing gets interesting because it never has been.
I got nothing. I thought he was going to be...
James O'Connell.
That's my line.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
That's my line. I got nothing.
Gendry is a blacksmith. All glamour muscles, no core. Okay. Yeah, he's... I don't know, man. He's been rowing. He's Gendry. Darth Vader is who's who... What? We're not going to talk about Hodor. Jaime kills Cersei regardless. Yes. We all probably agree on that, right?
To save who?
Bye, Mom.
To save everybody. It doesn't matter.
Oh, everybody's saying bye to my mom.
Bye, Mom.
It's a cycle. He killed the Mad King. He's going to kill her. He's going to kill her.
To save his brother.
All right, so I must be wrong. Rachel Higgins said Brienne is definitely not dead in the books.
She's not dead.
But the Stoneheart arc is being gone totally changed what's happening to her in the show.
So I'm going to read you guys a quick synopsis.
Thank you for that, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. I knew that he was wrong. In A Dance with Dragons, having been spared by the Brotherhood, Brienne appears briefly at Penny Tree when Jaime camps there. She asks Jaime to help her save Sansa from the Hound, claiming they're a day's ride away. This is way back. She tells Jaime, however, that he must go with her alone or the Hound will kill Sansa. Cersei is skeptical when she is informed that her twin Jaime disappeared with a woman in the Riverlands. So we haven't heard from Brienne in the books since A Dance with Dragons.
Okay.
So that's way back.
So did Jaime and her do the Funky Monkey?
No.
So it took Jaime and Brienne a season to get from the Riverlands to King's Landing.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
A season.
A season. And the Riverlands is not far from King's Landing.
But that's because...
It was a great journey.
But that's because we had to go and see what Dany's doing, sitting, standing behind her pyramid, doing her thing. We had to go see what Jon's doing.
Well,
I understand, but they should have stuck to sort of that. They set up a time it takes to get from place to place, and now they're just trashing it.
So the director...
Daniel Stransky said something really interesting.
Lay it on me.
I'm kind of hoping Arya kills Cersei as Jaime. That's awesome, but she'd have to kill Jaime to be him. I think for the face.
Yeah, you have to take...
So yeah, read what the director... This is what... All right, guys. I read an interview with the director of who directed the last... He directed a bunch of them, but he directed the last episode that we all have these issues with. That most of us have these issues with who have minds.
The timing mostly.
The timing and all that.
Okay, so...
go ahead. So this is what the director said.
Yes, Alan Taylor, the director, his exact quote here was, "We were aware that timing was getting a little hazy. We've got Gendry running back, ravens flying a certain distance, dragons having to fly a certain distance. In terms of the emotional experience, Jon and company sort of spend one dark night on the island in terms of storytelling moments. We tried to hedge it a little bit with the eternal twilight up there north of the wall. I think there was some effort to fudge the timeline a little bit by not declaring exactly how long we were there. I think that worked for some people. For other people, it didn't. They seem to be very concerned about how fast a raven can fly, but there is a thing called plausible impossibilities, which is what you try to achieve, rather than impossible plausibilities.
Okay.
So I think we are straining plausibility a little bit But I hope the story's momentum carries over some of that
It doesn't.
stuff.
It didn't. It doesn't. And
Fail.
What was the statement? Plausible what?
Plausible impossibilities.
When you start to need to make plausible in this, okay, this is why I'm talking about Lucas in episode 1, 2, and 3. That's the shit that doesn't work. That's the reason why the last 3 Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit suck. Okay, because of directors thinking that
And
we're
timing.
going to accept plausible bullshit.
And in that case, the timing was the opposite. They took one little book, the smallest of all of the books, and expanded
one
it into a
great
trilogy.
little book.
One great book.
Great one. Make a legend.
And turned it into
Make-
So basically,
Make
he was.
appetite for destruction.
I want to. First of all, what do you think of plausible impossibilities?
I don't think Joni really loved Chachi.
So
That's plausible deniability.
So here it is. Saying that is saying, well, you guys who are thinking too hard on it, F you. We don't really
Yeah,
care.
we gave you a show.
I want to think
Yeah.
hard. I want to think
Here's
hard.
some action.
Here's
Hope you
what I
enjoyed
wanna-
it.
Here's what I want to tell Director Dick. Okay,
His name's Alan.
I want to tell Director Dick Allen this, okay? I can watch a dragon on a Razor commercial these days. I can go on YouTube and watch a kid in his basement make the scene that you made with them on the island. It's not a big deal. Write a good story. Be creative. Be the person you're getting paid to be. If not, come to Farpoint, get the 3 of us, and we'll give you a motherfucking script.
Now, I'm going to rein it in. I'm going to rein it in just a little bit.
All right.
And I want to talk a little more about
Sorry
things
about the F-bomb.
that we liked. Because this show isn't garbage.
All right.
It's still one of my favorite shows on TV.
Things you liked.
Things I liked. I'm gonna say it again. I already said it once. Gonna say it again.
Say it again.
I love Jon Snow. I love Daenerys with Jon. I'm glad that we got to see them in this season. They met. We know that they're related. Some of us don't give a shit. S-bomb, sorry. Some of us don't care. They held hands. He was shirtless. I'm all about that life. So they're on the love boat right now, and I'm loving life
All
right
right,
now.
I got to comment on that comment. I expect more from you. You're smarter than that. Okay, just because they held hands, you're feeling like
No.
It's-
I'm not wiping away every
Yes.
inconsistency.
No.
I'm saying that they threw me a bone and kind of.
Okay, so you
appeased
saw
me
some things that
slightly.
made you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But in general, let's do it this way, Justin. This is really easy. Would you say the seasons up until this were all A's or 10s?
Yes.
Okay, what would you give this season? Your best number?
7.
I'm on a 7.5.
No,
I'm a 5.
I'm a 6
I'm a five.
because I say 7 because I'm like, wow, look how cool the dragons look. You're right, man.
I'm
Big
a 7.
commercial.
Yeah.
I'm
The
a
dragon.
7 because
The dragon. What do you
it's
give it?
still better than a lot of shows on TV. But that's not.
That's not saying anything.
That's it.
I get that.
That's like
They're
saying,
gonna.
I want to bring in
I got to see my ship together.
Okay,
That's
I got to
seven.
bring in episode 1 again. That's like saying just because it was Star Wars, it gets a rating.
Yeah.
We all know episode 1 sucked. We know.
I've never seen episode 1.
Well, smart
right,
girl.
but we're
Eric,
rating it.
what do you give the rating?
I had a crush on Betty Robles, so I don't.
This is what I liked about it. There were some for the A
The
team.
angle was good when you were over here.
For the A team, right, when they were up at the wall, the A team, there were some conversations that happened that there were some great conversations
Where's Betty Robles?
that had to happen.
Yes.
I'm glad they did, especially with Jorah and Jon when they tried to show each other whose
the sword.
honor was bigger.
Yeah.
That was a
like
conversation that needed to happen, and I'm glad it did. I love the interaction with Tormund and the Hound. It's fun. It doesn't make the episode any better, but at least it was some good stuff where I'm watching it and really enjoying the show again. Other than that, I can't think of
Well,
anything.
Justin, let me ask you this. When they got attacked, and I know the one thing was an issue with us, but when we started to see the massive zombies, and they're running, right, at that moment.
Yep.
Started feeling pretty good, right? And then we get to the plausible bullshit. The water, the island, the mat. Okay, Hound chucks the rock, and you realize, shit, they're in trouble. Let's be honest. Does anybody really think they last more? We saw what those things did in 3 seasons ago in the attack on the village when Jon sailed away.
Hardhome, yes.
When they attacked Hardhome, we saw
It was a swarm.
It was unbelievable. Yet these guys are coming 2 at a time on the rock. First of all, what a shitty island. Okay, I mean, they gave them a rock this big and said millions of zombies are coming at you. I don't think Rick
It was
would-
6,000.
So
Okay, 6,000.
Yeah.
You brought up the
No,
island being shitty.
you're right.
I do want to bring this up in case you don't know. The mountain that the Hound saw in his vision, that arrow-shaped mountain, we've seen that before in the show.
Okay.
The throwback when the Night King was created by the Children of the Forest.
Right.
He was born here, so this spot is important. So it's shitty, but for some reason it's important.
Well, I get that. But
Yeah, but he's saying about being surrounded by thousands of guys.
Zombies are on them, and yet they're.
Why aren't the zombies climbing up the mountain?
Yes.
Why are they coming at them conveniently one at a time?
One at a time.
Because TV tropes.
Christina Lashley Roberts. What's up with all of Daenerys' allies being taken out so easily by Lannisters, especially the Tyrells, the richest city just being ransacked so easily? Not too believable. Smaller, less populated areas lasted way longer.
The Tyrells are not warriors. They said that themselves, and I believe that.
Okay, but they can lock a door, put up a moat, and hang out. And my point is, what did the fish man hang out with last? What was his name? The fish, the uncle.
Uncle Benjamin?
No, Euron Greyjoy.
No.
What?
No. What was his name? The fish. He held out in the castle.
Blackfish.
Blackfish.
Oh.
Blackfish held the castle with a few dudes, and they were going to siege it, right?
Yeah.
He had a lot of men were going to be lost to Jaime, right? And then he pulled the quick slick. Well, I don't care how bad the House of Roses was. Okay, you close the gate, and you got a couple month siege coming up. I mean,
well, it could have been a couple months based on the timeline of this show. They could have been.
Oh, it could have been a year. It could have been a year. I know. We don't know.
How long does Stephen Reed
But based on the way that they gave us, they literally conquered that in a day.
Yep.
I'm sure it was longer than that, but yeah, it felt really rushed.
Felt like a day.
It did feel like a day. I think it actually showed that it was when she said, "Did our men fight well?" and Jamie's like, "They fought."
I know, but they couldn't lock the gate.
Right.
I'm sure they did lock the gate. You're using it as an example. Yeah, it was shit.
It's just this. There's too much of it, guys. We're gonna wrap this up because this is really what it comes down to. For a show that has been such quality writing, and it kept us on our toes, there's too much of this. Bullshit this season.
Poor writing.
Too much.
Poor plausibility.
And
there has been some stuff. There has been one or two things, sure. There's been a couple. Nothing that really stands out.
No.
But nothing like, we've had more plot holes in the entire show. In
this season.
In this episode, there were more plot holes than we've had in the entire rest of the
Without
entire
a doubt. And does anybody want, let's give credit where credit was due. For and I don't want to get into that episode, but the loot train was spectacular. And it was the highlight of this season for me.
And it was a callback
I
to
think
the field of
episode
fire.
3, there was a good episode where
3 and the next one.
Yeah.
There was 2, they felt real.
Yeah.
And then this.
So
disaster.
maybe,
I'm
hoping,
the speech at Charlottesville.
guys, I'm hoping that, oh Lord, I'm hoping that this last episode on Sunday makes us all apologize for having this podcast.
And we will come back next week.
Speaking of Sunday.
I'm going to get there.
Okay.
I'm hoping it does that, and it shows us things and brings us to places where we didn't see it go and say, oh my God, we'll let the fucking chains go. We'll let the fast Raven go because, oh my God, who saw that? I hope they do it. But if they don't, if it ends up in some TV trope, they are shitting on a legacy of what it could have been one of the best TV shows of all time. Now, speaking of Game of Thrones!
Let Penelope tell you.
All right.
Am I talking about Sunday?
Yep.
Yes.
So Sunday we're having a private Farpoint After Dark event here on Sunday, but we are also doing a cool live stream before the season finale. We are going to be unveiling something very cool here. Frank has some cool friends, Jason and Sherry.
Oh, they're our friends
who
now.
Are artists.
All of our
I'm
friends.
telling the story from.
had some. Okay.
Yeah.
They came in. It's a toy.
They came into It's a Toy Store, and they are looking to. They're artists. They're fine artists, and they're looking to break more into a commercial sort of. They want to do like Wizards of the Coast card art and stuff like that. So they asked Farpoint if. What are you laughing about? Are you laughing in a comment?
My brother.
Read the comment so I can continue.
No, go ahead.
Jon Snow, Danny, do you like dragons? Danny, of course I do. Why? Jon Snow, because I'm going to be dragging these nuts across your face. Oh, my kid is in the room.
We've all heard the jokes,
Yeah,
like
it's a joke.
winter might be coming, but she's been waiting for 8 inches of snow, whatever. So I am wearing my Jon Snow shirt
That's
today
cool.
as well.
Let's stay on target.
Sorry.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
So Jason and Sherry are awesome artists who are looking to They teach at God, I forgot what
Fine art.
Pennsylvania.
They're teachers of fine art. They are amazing artists. You may have seen his White Walker painting. That was actually a self-portrait that he did of himself as a White Walker as part of his series of
Night
it was
King,
the
yeah.
Night King, yeah. A series of paintings they're doing of people as Game of Thrones characters. Well, they asked us if we would be interested in becoming part. I don't know why you're shaking your head and making all these weird.
Because I don't want you to give away too much.
Yeah.
What am I giving?
Just don't say exactly what it is.
It's okay.
What am I saying then?
We're fine.
Just say we're going to be unveiling
Okay,
some.
So we are going to be unveiling some paintings that they have done that we are somehow involved with, but I don't want to give it away. Sometime about 8 o'clock. We're going to do right before.
Yeah, before we watch the episode. So
at about
pre-game.
At about 8 o'clock, watch our page for a really cool live stream unveiling with Jason and Sherry,
And we're
the
going to
artists.
interview them.
And we're going to do a little interview with them about the whole deal.
Yep.
And it's going to be Game of Thrones related and really cool.
And guys, pre-game Game of Thrones with us next week. We'll have Perry over for his insights.
Would you mind? Can I sing a song?
Yeah, absolutely.
The fun is back, oh yes, sirree. The 2600 from Atari. The video system with classic war. With Space Invaders, the cars that roar. If under $50, under $50, isn't that nice? Oh, the fun
We're
is
losing
back,
watchers.
Oh,
We're losing watchers.
He hasn't even been drinking.
2600 from
Atari.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Join us next Sunday.
What
This Sunday.
What was that?
That's
Perry, did Perry, are you having a seizure? Are you
Oh, no, it's good. It's good. I can't wait to
Nobody who remembers all those words is having a seizure. That was pretty good.
I just want to say that I hope that we have something amazing to talk about next week. Don't let me down with plausible bullshit.
Don't let me down.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Hasta la vista. Peace out.